Alright guys, this is the first video I've done since, I don't know, August last year, something like that. It's been about 8 months. Reason being, I had a problem with my back. I could walk around, I could do stuff, but crawling around, mauling, doing jobs on my rig, that was out of the question, so I'm not bothered with anything. I've got loads of videos to edit and stuff, so I've been doing all stuff like that. Anyway, the job that I started yesterday and the day before is to remove my power steering box, because the pit arm seal, that's leaking. Also the steering column rubber boot, that's got a split in it. Now if the MOT guy sees that, he'll fail it, so I'm just going to do that anyway. So when the video starts now, it'll explain everything that we're doing in the process. Then it's going to show you how I did it all, right up to the part where I take the box off. To get the rubber boot off on the steering column, when my power steering box is out, I take the steering wheel off so that I can lower the steering column down, because you've got to take the universal joint off in the bottom bolt and the top bolt off, so that you can put the new rubber boot on. I've done a separate video, you'll see it all anyway. Just bear with me, this video is about 25 minutes long. This is the first part of the video, then it's going to show you the other bits of video. So there'll be a part 1, part 2, part 3, maybe part 4. There's a few other little things that I've got to do, but just bear with me, watch the video, see what you think. Okay? Cool. Alright guys, today's job, I'm going to be removing my power steering box because I've got a leak on the seal on the pit arm, plus there's a split in the steering column rubber boot where the universal joint's on. I've also drained my radiator off because I'm going to flush my system out, so I've lifted my radiator to one side and the oil cooler, just so that I can film everything a bit easier. Okay, it's up to you whether you remove your bumper, your air ducting, or whatever it is you need to remove so that you've got more room. That's entirely up to you. So this is your reservoir. You're going to have to drain the oil out of that. Okay, so what you want to do is put a tub at the bottom. I suggest you use this pipe first. Disconnect it at the bottom, undo that, make sure your tub's at the side there, undo it and lift it to one side, and the oil will drip into that tub. Okay, once that's done and this reservoir is empty, undo this Jubilee clip, lift this pipe off because there'll be fluid in here as well, lift it over, try not to get it all over your radiator and your cooler, lift it over and make sure it drains in there. Put your finger or something on the end of it because you want it to get right in position so that it's just dripping into your tub. Okay, don't get oil all over if you don't need to. Alright, once it's all done, you can undo this Jubilee clip on here and you can take this reservoir and this pipe out of the way. This pipe here, you can just strap it up to here, you can just put it out of the way, lift it out of the way. Okay, if your pipes are knackered and they're shitty, or your Jubilee clip inside there on the other end of the pipe is knackered, take it off, put a new one on. This is your opportunity to replace your pipes if they're no good. Mine are solid, they're hard, these, so they're not gone porous and they're not, you know, they're not shitty. So that's that bit. Let me just put that down a sec. Okay, I'm back. If you look down there where that piece of metal is, right, there's a bolt there. So all you do is undo that bolt and that bolt should come off. Okay, there's also one there at the bottom at the end of there holding. So you've got your power assisted box is bolted to a bracket, and this bracket is what you've got to undo to get this power assisted box off. So there's another bolt there, but on the other side of that chassis, the white chassis that I'm tapping on there, you can get a spanner on that and undo this bolt. There's also, I can do this with my hand now. When you've undone, like, this pipe's off and you've drained it all, you've got to take this pipe off as well, because you want to be able to get to, there's a nut, can you just see it underneath there, there's another bolt and a nut underneath this on the chassis here. Let me get my hand on the other side there. So there's a nut there, a bolt rather, and the nuts underneath, so you've got to be able to undo that, but you won't be able to get to that bolt unless you take these two pipes off. Okay, so that's that. So I've explained that part to you. To be honest, it's quite simple to do. Maybe a little bit awkward with those nuts, but I've got a compressor, impact gun, all that lot, so I'm assuming hopefully I'll make light work of this and we can get that part off. But if you don't need to remove stuff, guys, don't. Okay, so I'm just going to set this camera up and I'll show you from the other side. Alright? Alright guys, right, let's have a look at it from this side. You can see where the oil's all coming out. It's on my hands because the seal's gone on the top here. You know, this thing's been on, by the look at it, 30 years. It's never been off. Looking at them nuts and that, so I'm just going to get a 41mm socket on the end of the impact gun, and I'm going to take the nut off, and then I can take the power steering box with the pit arm connected up to my son's friend's garage and get them to pull the arm off for me. I'm going to leave that so the pit arm, steering box and this bracket will all be left together once I get it off, because you have to undo the nuts, the bolts with the nuts underneath. There's one bolt, there's another bolt, and there's the other bolt. You've got corresponding ones on the other side. Once they're off, and this drag link has been disconnected, this drag link rubber on this end is okay, but the rubber on the other end is knackered, so I have sourced a new one from Autodoc. That should be here any day now, as well as some rubbers for my sway bar, but that's another job. So this one's taken off, which we're going to do in a bit. I'll get the impact gun, we should get these nuts off. These will all come off dead easy. The ones on the other side I might struggle a little bit, but it'll be easy enough. Also, when you're taking this off, you need to remove your steering wheel inside. I'll do a very short video on that showing you how to take that off and put it back on. You've also got to mark the spleens when you take your steering wheel off, just so that everything lines up for when you put this back on. Also, in this rubber boot here that I'm actually, you can see it moving there, there's a universal joint in that, and you have to take the bottom pinch bolt out, and you get somebody who sits inside. They can lift the steering column slightly and it'll slide off the shaft that goes up. Inside here there's a shaft and there's teeth all the way around the shaft. I'll show you a picture here, it'll come up here in a second. I'll give you an idea of what it looks like. But once they lift it up, it'll slide off the spleens from the shaft, and you'll be able to move this forward. Okay, once you've done all those hoses that I've just told you about on the other side. So that's basically what we're going to do. Okay, because it's simple enough. 3 bolts the other side, undo this, undo the hoses, lift the universal joint off the spleens, and this should come out. Okay, once you've disconnected the pipes and drained it all and everything else. Okay, so let's get cracking on that. Put this here, see if I can get it to go straight into the tub rather than drip all over my chassis. Okay, see if I can do that. I know you get what I mean, guys. Alright, tub's underneath. See if we can do it. I can hear the rust going at the bottom. Oh yeah, it's coming off now. Right. Get that down there. This pipe will come off now. Start to get a little bit in a minute dripping out, I would have thought. I don't want it just to gush all over. Here we go, there's the drips. See, I'm trying to control it, I don't want it to gush all over. Don't rush it, alright? Don't make your job harder. I mean, I used that clamp pair of pliers things, whatever they're called, and it broke the rubber free from the metal, and there's nothing wrong with this metal tube that I've just done. It's solid. I'll clean it all up. Make sure you put a plastic bag or something on the end of these pipes, especially this one. When you put it over there, you don't want any shit falling in it. Alright, but I've not made a mess, and I'm happy with that. That's drained out from that. I don't need to take the cap off. I don't want any shit falling in it. So remember, put something on the end of this hose when it's finished dripping. Little sandwich bag or something with elastic band, keep it clean. And when we take this one off, make sure you put a sandwich bag on the end of that with elastic when you tie it up onto a tie strap here or something. Alright, that's out of the way then. And then we're going to undo this 7/8 nut, and we're going to undo that 19mm nut as well, and then just let that bend down and drain into there. Alright, because when I undo this nut will all drain out of the pump as well. This the steering box, it'll drain out of that. Well, that's quite handy, that bit of plastic I've done down there. So we're fitting new ones on these, so they will be replaced. So let's get this off. Just going to block your view a second. Well, let's get this off. Oh, this one's turned anyway. This one will come off easy enough. Get that Jubilee clip off first. There we go. Now it's dripping. So I'll just put that behind that pipe there and just let it run down. Alright, I'll take this off now. You don't have to take the full Jubilee clip off. All it actually does, you'll see now, it lifts off. See how it lifts off? It lifts off this bracket here, this black bracket. It lifts off that. So it's still dripping, as you can see, and I'm not asked about that. I'm just going to leave it dripping. I'm going to stop my video here, and I'm going to have a cup of tea, and we'll just let these drip. Alright, yeah, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, so I've just lifted the reservoir out of the way, as you can see. Put some sandwich bags on it, tie strapped, and that will just be sat out of the way. And now not bothered about those drips, so we're going to undo this 7/8 nut and this 19mm nut. This has been in a long time. I have no idea if this is going to budge, or I might have to put the hammer on it. Just give it a bit of a tap. And if I do, I hope I don't make the bloody camera fall off. Well, that was simple, wasn't it? Look at that. Once somebody shows you how to do these, you know, I mean, I'm not showing you anything to do with the inside of this thing. I don't touch anything to do with power steering pumps, even if it's on a different vehicle. Anything to do with steering boxes, ABS systems, I don't maul around with them inside. I don't mess around with internals of gearboxes neither, be it manual or automatic. I don't mess around with internals of back axles. I never touch stuff like that, never do them. You have specialists that can do that type of stuff. They do it all day long and they know what they're doing. I do not maul with things that I don't know. Okay, engines I'm fine, but swapping a seal out or just resealing it is nothing difficult about that. So that's what I'm going to do with this power steering box. Thought it was. Just chuck that in the tub with the other one. this will drain off and this one will, but this will drain even more when we disconnect this one and drop it down so it's in that tub, or at least near the tub. So I'm going to see if I can get this one out as well, because I can't get the spanner. I really want it in that position so I can hit it with the hammer. So I'm going to see if I can get this nut out as well. Is that going on? I'm a bit lucky here. Yeah, I am being lucky. So let's take that one out. Yep, even that one's come off now. So and it's even unscrewing. How cool is that? As if you look there, the internal one is smaller than the outer one. You see it? So this is just a reducer nut, reduced for the male fitting going inside of this, and this side for the nut is larger. Okay, so yeah, I can clean that up. It should be able to put back in, throw that in the tub with the oil. I'm not bothered about it being oily. So if you look now, look at that, we can get that on. So I should be able to hit that again with the hammer. Let's just turn it. Let's try that. Yep. There we go. Look at that. See guys, you just take your time, work the problem. If I want to tuck that one out, that nut out there, I will struggle to get this one. So I'm clearing the way for getting everything out. And I don't need to take that nut out, you know, the top one, that doesn't need to come off. They might think that wants replacing, because I'm going to put the other nut back into this section. They might put two new ones in for me. If I ask them, they'll put two new ones in. You know, why put the old ones back on if they can fit some new ones for me? Yeah, it's out, and there's the oil coming out. So let me get it past. It's all the tub right. Yep, pouring in. I think that went really well, guys. You can see it pouring out at the bottom here. These nuts are easier to get to now. I'll have to put an angle socket on that, see if I can get onto that one. But it's certainly doable, not having to take your bumper and all that off. Okay, right, let me go and get a cloth and wipe my hands. Just left that off to show you. You can still see there, can you see it running out at the bottom? Still dripping. Which is fine, I'm in no hurry. I'm not a rushing kind of person when I'm doing jobs, guys. As while I'm on this side and this finishes dripping, I want to at least have an attempt with my impact gun to get these nuts off. Okay, get that bolt off and the nuts. We're just going to wait for all this to finish dripping. Okay guys, you can see there I put a bit of heat on this one, so this one's coming off now. I just left it in place to show you. That'll come off no problem now. I can get a spanner on the top, and that one, my impact gun, which I got all ready to see if I could do these off. It's too big a bulk, I can't even get in position for it. So like I said, this one's gonna come off. The other one, let me just show you. The other one is there, that's the nut there. The bolts on that side, I'll be able to get onto that no problem. This nut looks better, in better condition to come off than the one I've just showed you at the bottom here. The other bolt is up the top here. I might struggle a bit to get that, but it's got to come off, so it will happen. I just thought I'd give you an update on where I'm up to on this. Okay guys, so we got all three out on this side. That one came out. Where is it? Let me get it in focus. That one came out dead easy, apart from the paint underneath. I had to clean the paint off so I could get the socket on. That was okay. That one was easy enough. Also that one at the back, that came out pretty easy. A little bit awkward because the extension bar for my socket kept bumping into this bit, so I had to put the socket on at an angle and tap it on with an hammer. It wouldn't go on fully, but it grabbed hold of the end of the nut. I'll show you. So basically I had to use that socket like that at an angle, just to, you know, make sure you use a 6-sided one and all, because that's easier. That put that on there, and I put it on at an angle, and I used 1/2 inch extension, short one, 6 inch, then I used a longer one, then I used the reducer, then I used a smaller gauge, and then I used a 17mm. Got an hammer, tapped it on at an angle, rested it onto here, so the bar was resting there. Went and got my impact gun, put the impact gun on, and give it a blast on the trigger, and the bolt just came straight off. Once it came loose, it came out by just turning it with my fingers, and it came off, so I was pleased with that. Now we're going to do the other side. Okay, cool. There we go, there's one out. Simple enough, wasn't it? Wheel it up so it goes on the paint. Same again, guys. There we go. Swung my arm round to that switch, to that arm. Right, so that bolt won't come out until the power steering box will be able to come away from the chassis, because I've got to undo this bolt. But before I undo this bolt, I'm going to disconnect this drag link, remove the steering wheel, do a little video on that. I'm going to do that now before I forget. Yeah, so up to now it's working good, so we'll carry on, guys. Go, see it pop. At least it feels a bit better that side anyway. So as you can see, guys, it's out. Right. So all we've got to do now is remove anything on the inside of the steering column, so that we can lift it up after we've undone the universal joint in here, and then we undo this nut. Okay guys, let me just show you this. Right, small ratchet, 1/2 inch socket is on the bolt at the back of the universal joint. Small spanner with an 1/2 inch on the nut at the front. It is undoing. I just thought I'd stop and show you how I'm undoing this bolt. Once I've undone the nut and pulled the bolt out. I will be undoing this nut after I've lifted the column up inside, so that the universal joint that I've lifted off the spleens, and it won't just go straight back on, it'll probably just tilt to the side so it won't go back on. And I can undo this nut, and this power steering box and the pit arm will all come off in one piece. Okay, it's off now, it's in the tub. Just going to leave it dripping now until it stops, and then I'm going to put some plastic plugs into where the pipes was joined on, where it's dripping from, seal that up so it's not all dripping all over the place when I put it in the car. And I'm going to give it a good pressure washing, and then I'm going to get it up to my son's friend's garage and get him to take the pit arm off. Anyway, that's the end of part one. The other parts to follow. Cheers guys.